Welcome back to the Colts Cast, everyone. I'm Eric, and that is Jamal, your host of the Colts Cast. Breaking news, if you haven't heard already, Indianapolis Colts owner Jim Irsay, he has passed, unfortunately, died Wednesday in his sleep. He was 65 years old. Colts put out a statement. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but really sad about this. Kind of hit home for us. Jamal, I don't know how you felt about it, but you know, even if he was wild at times, like that man loved his team. He was always there. He's a philanthropist. He did everything for the community, this city, this team. So rest in peace, Jim Irsay.
Yeah, absolutely. Start off, rest in peace, Jim Irsay. I mean, like you said, this man was all about the Colts, the Colts, Colts, Colts. That's the Colts and nothing else, and I can respect that 110% as someone who he took over the team. I believe it was in 1997. His dad handed him the team there, and his world changed immensely. Obviously, in '98 with drafting Peyton Manning, he lucked out, and you can say lucked out.
Lucked out.
Yeah, say that how you want.
Punny.
Lucked out by getting Peyton in those glory years, and he was there definitely very lucky to have nothing but success for all those years. But Jim Irsay was a passionate person who, like you mentioned earlier, it's all about this team, man. He just wanted success. A beloved person inside and outside the building and throughout the city as well. Always a pleasure at training camps, handing out $100 bills to people, to fans, signing anything, riding around on the golf cart, doing whatever he could to keep people engaged. And that's what you want in an owner. Very, very family oriented when it comes to the organization. I'll be the first person to tell you that I've had my ups and downs with the family, the organization and the family and this and how like I feel about having that family feel. But obviously, that's just on a football level, not a personal level from Mr. Irsay and what he did, because what he wanted was just to feel like home. I don't think I've ever heard a prior player mention anything negative about him. Every player who's talked about him has had nothing but great things to say about how much he cared about them on a personal level, their family on a personal level. He's willing to do anything for this team. I mean, he's even said it before himself. He didn't want to be like his dad was when his dad owned the team. His dad was kind of he was kind of unhinged and angry a lot of times during his time owning the team. He said he wanted to get away from that. So that's why he was such a loving person when it came to these guys and make sure that everybody felt like they were a part of something bigger than just a player in the National Football League. So shout out to him for that, because I think it takes a pretty strong person to have to do that, because at the end of the day, the NFL is a business. But I think he kind of let his business portion of that get put on the back burner when it came to the livelihoods and the lovingness to his players. And that's what you want out of an owner when you're playing for a team, when every day could be a make or break day for you. You really want to make sure you feel like you're in the right spot. So shout out to Jim Irsay. I know the daughters are all there. We saw, I believe it was Carly, who was in the war room a lot this year, actually every day this year, for the draft.
I was going to say, yeah, the draft room.
Yeah.
It was weird not seeing Irsay in there. And we even talked about Jamal. We were like, man, like a few episodes ago, we talked about how we haven't seen Irsay, like whereabouts. I mean, he just tweeted like 8 hours ago.
Yeah.
So this was very sudden. Yeah, really, really gonna miss his presence. Only 65 years old, man. That's young.
Hey, he lived a wild life. He lived a wild life.
I mean, he did. So probably some things that probably shortened his life expectancy, but still, at 65 years old, that's really young. For all his faults, I can't deny that he did not love this team to the fullest. But I think one of the biggest things, because you were well spoken in the memories and what Jim Irsay brought to the city. But one of my favorite things was got to be kicking the stigma, really tackling the mental health crisis in Indiana. I think not enough people are talk about that, and I mean, mental health is health. That's one of their mottos, and it can, I mean, we know people personally that's had mental health issues.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, it can be very traumatizing. So thank you to Jim Irsay and his family for really kickstarting that program for the Indiana people and state.
Absolutely, absolutely, and it's something that I'm sure will continue to go on strong. His daughter's definitely very proud and loud about what they want to do, within team, within the organization to carry on his legacy. And that was even well before his passing. Like I said, she was always on the sidelines with the headset on, ready to go. We see them in interviews, we see them talking. So the girls are there. They're ready. They're ready to step up and continue on to do what they've been doing for this past couple of years. I think he's put them in a position to succeed. And again, that's just another one of his things. He wouldn't want to leave anybody high and dry. So he tried his best, I'm sure, during his time when he could, to put all the aces in their places to the best of his ability and to move forward with that. And I think the team has a lot to play for, obviously, because they love and respect him as a person. And Jim Irsay, his legacy will always live on as long as the team is in Indiana. There's no question about it, just because of what he's done for this city and what the future holds for this city as well, for the Irsay family and what they bring to Indiana and Indianapolis.
Yeah, it sucks that he passed during a time where the Colts weren't at their best, man. Because I mean, there's some glory days for the Colts.
For sure.
The pain period, even the luck period, even though it was short
For sure.
lived. Andrew Luck brought a lot of electric plays, and then it was, I mean, really getting Luck after Peyton Manning just as like a prospect, like it's just crazy.
Yeah.
But I think it's assumed that Carly Ursay Gordon is going to take over primarily. I'm assuming the other daughters are going to step in as well with Casey and Kaylin. We've seen all of them around during team activities and things like that. So it'll be interesting to see who's the most involved in the team operations going forward. I don't know how they feel about Chris Ballard moving forward. That's going to be, I mean, that's a question. And what they think is best for this team. I think Jim Irsay did have influence in what happened with his team. He's the owner, he's the CEO. So it'll be interesting to see in the next year or so what actually happens. So, I mean, Ballard could be on a renewed lease.
Yeah, it could be. Jim's a very loyal person. We've seen that day in and day out. But the loyalty stops once someone else is in charge. I mean, that's just the reality of it. If you're not producing, then you go from there and figure out from what's next.
Yeah. What is next for the Indianapolis Colts now? Don't think much changes as far as focus for the Colts. Still Richardson, one more year. Seeing what this team can be, adding those pieces around him. I mean, I won't say this is the best supporting cast he's been around. It probably still is. I mean, the O-line's pretty but because we don't know how good it's going to be. But other than that, I feel like it's probably one of those best supporting casts going into year 3 for him. But I guess we should keep this episode about Jim Irsay.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what you just said there. I don't really have anything to add to that, because what he has right now is what he's going to get and what he's going to work with. But yeah, like you said, Irsay, 65 years old, man. Tough to see a loss like that, but we'll continue. The Colts will continue, and everything else will continue, and we'll figure out where to pick up from there, and then we just continue to get through the summer and get ready for what the season's going to hold.
He was a legend. But rest in peace, Jim Irsay. Jamal, that's all I had.
Yeah, that's all for me today.
Had to break the news. That's going to be it for us, everyone. Thank you for listening to the Colts Cast. Live on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, any platform you use to listen to podcasts. And we'll see you next time, hopefully with some better news and some more engaging content. But that's going to be it. You guys take care.
Take care.